Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Friday, September 16, 2022. Yes, I know for those of you who saw the messed up version, my camera stopped record or didn't record the first 10 minutes the first time through. So we'll give it another shot. We want to have you meet Akra. She's a 1950 22-foot Shepherd Runabout. She is powered by a V-drive equipped Chrysler Flathead 6. She looks to be a Crown, but we won't know till we get her out. She has been running well, at least last summer when she was in the water. Her owner reports that, to his knowledge, at least while he's owned the boat, this engine has never had any significant work done to it. But it had to have had at one time. You see that Bar Marine exhaust manifold over there? That's an aftermarket exhaust manifold. It's not original. The spark plugs are ancient. It's hard to believe that this really runs well. But we will pull it out and run it through a series of tests, maybe even pull the head to take a look at the valves. But we can't do that until we remove the framing for the aft bench seat. That's the way it is with these V-drive Shepherds. There's just not enough room in the engine bay to lift the engine out. Yes, we will have to remove the door first, of course. She's come in for what is almost certainly a complete preservation, starting with a new 5200 bottom. And then as we examine her, having just arrived and just come in to the shop today, her cosmetics, and I'm afraid some of her planks and structural members are really not in great shape. Here's my first bit of evidence. This is the covering board. That is, it's been whacked off right there. This has all been replaced. There's some kind of a Dutchman here, but you see everything will move, which tells me there's a bunch of failed fasteners underneath. Anytime your boat starts doing this, anytime you start looking at your boat, and it starts blossoming around bungs, or bungs pop out. Your fasteners are backing out if they haven't broken. Moisture is penetrating through what's left of the varnish, and the result then, if you look like this plank right here, we won't know until we get it stripped, but this wood is soft. If you look down the port end of the transom, you can see that the varnish has totally failed. And then we get issues that are most visible here. You see we have screw heads pointing through. Every place we get a blossom. Or even worse, we see a screw head, we know that a screw has backed out. We look on the port side at this covering board. I mean, this varnish is just, it's shot. It's been shot for a long, long time because the wood beneath is already gray. So this has been out in the sun unprotected. And then we run into places where, I don't know. I'm afraid the Bondo man's been here trying to fix repairs. with Bondo. You don't ever, ever, ever apply automotive Bondo to any marine object. Bondo is like a big sponge. It soaks up and holds moisture and becomes a vector for rot. You don't see it on the outside. It looks kind of nice. But then you get inside and you say, oh my Lord. You can see here where it's all turning blonde. Moisture has penetrated. We're concerned that when we get in, and we can't really get in here until we've removed the ceilings and we can see the backside. See, this has been sanded so much that the countersinks are quite shallow, and as a result, the bungs have become wafer thin in lots of places. One interesting observation, as some of you know, my voodoo child was a 331 dual quad Hemi 22-foot Shepherd Runabout. And there's a major difference. This boat, unlike mine, and maybe it's here and it's just full of varnish and crap, but there's supposed to be a seam that runs along here and runs all the way around the decks and is yellow. The deck seams should not have anything in them. These are, I don't know what this stuff is, but these are filled with something. And these seams over the years have just been filled and filled and filled, so they all have to be opened again. On the plus side, thank goodness, and we've got to breathe very carefully and be super careful, but those are original molded glass windshield panels. You can't replace those unless you have a deep, 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 deep pockets. And even then, you probably wait a year. I think there's one fellow somewhere in the United States that does it. Her windshield brackets are correct and original. Her Bryden brass fender hangers, correct and original. Her lifting ring. Her gas tank cap. And we'll look at this great siren. Yep, I hope it works. We'll find out. I think our neighbors will squawk. She's got the right bear claw bow light. And then we start looking down here and we see blossom, blossom, blossom. This area is not so bad. Here's a bung that simply fell out. And you'll notice that the correct fasteners for a Canadian boat, for a Shepherd, are not these, and these actually look like Phillips screws. They're supposed to be a square drivers. So we will replace all those with proper fasteners. Now we come over to starboard, and this just makes me want to cry. There obviously was some damage or some rot or something right here, and rather repairing it correctly, somebody shortboarded it. This is weak, and this, from the looks, is probably on a frame, but we'll find out whether there's a butt block at the end. If the damage was here, sorry, but the repair should have run at least back into here somewhere so that you had some integrity, but it wasn't. We're now on the starboard side, and it's dark on this side, so it's harder to tell. We've got a split plank here. We can see that somebody sanded this boat with an orbital sander. See all the moonscape? You can feel it. It's so bad you can feel it. Here's another seam similar to the same seam on the other side. Water is infiltrating. One of the things we do when a boat comes in, and I will be doing it on Monday, is photographing every square inch of the boat over and over and over again. Here's a good example. I'm guessing these are anchors to the boat's convertible top, if it has one. I'm not sure. I don't see other evidence of one. But if it does, and we will, of course, remove this piece of hardware and its mate on the port side, we toss them all into boxes, wrap them up, and then comes time to put it all back together, and we say, oh my God, where did that go? Well, we'll find out. She's equipped with a really neat third seat. These came in a variety of designs. This one's really beautiful. Whoever did this is quite a cabinet maker, probably a furniture maker. She has the early pedestal seats, correct gauge panel, correct switches, the right Chrysler steering wheel. I won't say anything about that rear view mirror up there. One must to do that will be on my list is replacing what are asphalt roof shingles for proper step pads. They're not easy to find, but I'll be searching for them and hope I do. Yes, she has replaced planks here and there, but you have to remember, this boat was built in 1950. That's 72 years ago. If I were only 72 years old, I'd probably have some things replaced as well. She retains the great Shepherd trademark air fence. One issue that the owner and we will have is those ceilings are supposed to be blonde. And I would really hope that he will allow us to strip them and return them to the blonde they should be. Very, very similar to the blonde decks in a Chris Craft Riviera, for example, or a Capri. That's what they should be. But Shepherd built boats for the customer, so it may well be that the original customer said, I don't like the blonde, and I don't like the way the blonde is going to fight with the panel on the back of that seat. Let's stain it all the same color as the boat is. So we'll have that conversation. The hardware is all in really good shape, so the owner really has no interest that we are aware of in taking this out as a showboat. So we won't be sending it off. There's none of it that's in other than really excellent user condition. Her transom, here again, remember she's 72 years old, and sometime in those 72 years, these two planks were changed. Right? I'm really nervous about what I'm seeing here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but hope it will. Just hope that's not all rotted, because it's really a beautiful plank. And then comes to the aft deck and all of these. These are not individual pieces of wood. These planks are, in fact, you see there's a seam here and there's a seam there. This plank is this wide. This should have been fastened in the normal way, kind of like the way the top of the transom is fastened. I'm not sure what we're going to find, but we have to remove every one of those bungs, of course. So that's our introduction. Akra's in the shop. When she leaves, If you search our records, search the playlist for the 1953 Shepherd Runabout, Voodoo Child, and you'll see what Akra will look like when she leaves here next spring sometime. So that's our introduction. Welcome to Akra's preservation. We'll stay with you during the process, keep you informed. And starting Monday is deconstruction. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.